Hi there! Today I have got 5 simple calendar tricks to make your life easier, because we all need a little bit of that right now. These are things that I use every day in my life and on my digital calendar. Now, I've tried using a paper calendar, but the hardest part for me is just hauling it with me everywhere I go. The thing that does go everywhere I go is my phone. And if you're like me, your phone is either in your hand at the moment or within hand's reach. So I use a digital calendar, I use Google Calendar, but these tips can be used no matter what calendaring system you use. And the first tip is to put it on repeat. Set it and forget it, as Ron would say. And what that means is when I know I need to do something and it's not a one-off thing, I set it up in my calendar to repeat as often as necessary. So every Tuesday night, I need to put out the trash, and I need to make sure the trash gets picked up so there's room in the trash for next week. And I just set that on my calendar a year and a half ago to repeat on Tuesdays. The only adjustment I make is that in the winter, I move the time closer to 4 p.m. because that's when it gets dark. And then in the summer, I push it back till 7 or 8 p.m. because I'm usually out and it gets dark very late. Anything that you want to do in either your business or your personal life that's repeatable should be repeated on your calendar. So that could be payroll, marketing, checking in on your metrics, sending client updates, billing clients, following up with clients who haven't paid your bills. There's so many options here. And I especially use this for personal things, and we'll get to that in some of the other tips. Tip number 2, and the reason why I love a digital calendar, is that there's space for notes. So use them. Add in the Zoom link, add in the phone number of the person you're going to call, add a link to your notes or notes right in the calendar for a meeting. If you're meeting with a client or an employee, team member, then you probably have some idea of an agenda. Like, why are we even talking? And if you don't have an agenda, why are you even talking? Go do something else. But you want to make those notes and put them in your calendar. So that way when it pops up, everything's right in the same place. These days you can link to files or upload images. There's so many cool things you can do. But the important thing is that all the information is right there at your fingers. And if you have an assistant who manages your calendar, you can train them on how to do this. Hey, I'm going to have a call with so-and-so. I need you to tell me if I'm calling them or they're calling me. If I'm calling them, what number am I calling? Hey, I'm having that interview with so-and-so. Make sure to put in my calendar if it's a video call or a audio call, because the last time I didn't know it was a video call, I showed up looking like Gollum. When you put all those details into your calendar, it makes looking at your day a little bit easier. And if you don't already look at your calendar the night before, you really should. I know people do this at the end of their workday. I tend to do this at the end of my day, period. For one, it tells me what time I need to be up in the morning, if I need to be up and do hair and makeup, if I have an appointment out of town, if I have no video calls in the day, which is a miracle, and I can wear my sweatsuit all day. Looking at your calendar the night before gives you perspective on what to expect tomorrow. And at the same time, when you have those details in there, you can make better choices. You know, brush your hair, please. The third calendar system that I use every single day is an external booking calendar called Acuity. And I use Acuity because it allows me to have a free account with lots of appointment types, and I can set things like questionnaires before the call or automated reminders of what your call link is. Now, this is really helpful to me because a lot of times my clients are messaging me to add in calls or to have a strategy session. And if I had to be looking at my calendar every day and offering them all the times, I would not get a whole lot done. So instead, my clients know, here's my scheduling calendar. This is the time I'm available this week for calls. Simply go book. And the great thing is you can also set some parameters around that. So I've set it so you have to book 12 hours in advance. And the reason for that is just one time you will have somebody sign on like at a computer at 6 a.m. and book you for a call at 7 a.m. and you're like, what? I'm half asleep. How did that happen? I also don't allow people to book more than 30 days out, simply because I don't really set my availability that far out. And I usually find that if people are like, I really want to talk to you, how's 200 days from now? They don't really need to talk to me. So having a calendar that allows some automation is pretty helpful when it comes to lots of calls. So if you're a person who's on the phone a lot, I definitely recommend getting a calendar system that syncs in with your main calendar and updates automatically. The fourth calendar system that I use every single day is by putting breaks in my calendar. So sometimes I also call this buffer time, but I used to get up in the morning, start working frenetically, get really focused, be on calls, and then at like 2 or 3 p.m., like, why am I so hungry? Oh, I haven't eaten today. Now I have lunch built into my calendar. And even if I need to adjust the timing to accommodate work projects or calls, at least I know it's there. Now, if you're someone who sits at your desk a lot and you end up like hunched over and your neck and your back and your hips are starting to like really complain, build breaks into your calendar for movement. This could be a really great way to build in more routines, such as like 5-minute break, go to the kitchen and get a glass of water, or go check the mailbox before it gets too dark, take a walk around the block. Anything that breaks up your routine and helps you to transition or just not sit in one place for too many hours is a good thing. My physical therapist would tell you that you should build in calendar reminders to stretch, especially after you've been sitting for a long time. And it really helps to have these breaks or buffers built in. It reminds us that we're not human beings who need to be scheduled 23 hours a day. And I really highly doubt that somebody who has a minute by minute schedule that goes for 10 or 12 hours a day is somebody who's also like browsing YouTube on the regular. I assume that most of us are not the founders or owners or leaders of a Fortune 500 company. So simply build in some breaks for you throughout the day. Maybe 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, to get up and move and to do something away from your desk or away from your main work area that allows you to have a little bit of balance. It could be something really simple like texting a friend or posting a silly photo on Instagram. And it could be something that you feel is more productive, like prepping dinner or going for a short walk. Whatever you do, build in breaks, and that bit of buffer time is really nice when you have a busy day. The last calendar system that I use is really about time management and project management, which is a whole big issue. But the short version is that you should be breaking down your projects into bite-sized chunks. And for me, bite size is about an hour to an hour and a half. If I schedule something for 2 hours, I'll usually like goof around for 15 minutes and then finally settle in about 30 minutes in. So now I just book 30, 60, 90-minute blocks. And whatever it is you're doing, like anything in your business, you can probably break it down. Now, I do think you can bundle things together to make it easier. But when you have a really clear block of time and you give it a purpose, you're way more likely to do that thing. So imagine you set aside all day tomorrow for writing, and you were just going to get up in the morning and you were going to write, and then your day would be over when the writing was done. I don't think you'd actually get much writing done. It's too vague and it's too ambiguous to be productive. So what if instead that writing got broken down into 1-hour blocks over a week or two, and you were going to write your new about page, or you're going to write messages for your Facebook group, you were going to write the email you've been meaning to send, or simply write something like a card to a client or a contract. As soon as you break down big tasks into very distinct actions, then not only can you fit it in your calendar a little bit better, but when that calendar time pops up, you know what you're supposed to be doing. So for this example, I do have time on my calendar where I plan my video content. I have time to prep for video shoots and to shoot the video. I have separate time on my calendar to edit videos, to create other assets related to videos like screens or thumbnails, and then of course time to upload, process, and publish videos. If I just put on my calendar video, I wouldn't know what I was doing at that time. I wouldn't know if I needed to have the lighting set up and my camera charged, or if I need to clear other projects off my computer so I'd have the juice to edit them. When you get really clear by breaking things down into smaller chunks, your calendar becomes a really good tool for you. And then you'll use it more. And when you use it more, it gives you purpose to your day. It gives you structure for your week, and it shows you the time you have off. How many times have you just sat on your computer, clicking around, not really doing work, not really doing a whole lot of anything, and then hours and hours pass, you feel completely unproductive? I mean, I know I used to do it a lot in my corporate life, but hey, I got paid by the hour and I was just sitting there. As an entrepreneur, you want to get as much out of your day as possible so you have time to do all the other things that you created space to do. So my action step for you is to actually go right now to whatever calendar you're using and add 2 tasks that you need to do this week.